How's it going? My name is Weekly Shonen, and we have 3 relatively short chapters to cover this week, but good, really good. So just get right into it. Start off with My Hero 346, which is kind of pointless, but in a good way. See, the chapter kind of starts out with showing off just how much work was taken into suppressing Shigaraki, but it's all for nothing because Deku's not here. And I think the first read through, I kind of read the 3 support team pages as fluff. I was just like, well, we're rehashing things that happened in 339. We don't really need this. But when you go back and read it, you realize it's supposed to be the lead up to Deku's final attack. Like, this was supposed to be the same exact scene or the same exact sequence of events leading up to, oh good, Shigaraki suppressed right now, we have an opening, Deku, use your big final move or whatever, and then this is over. And obviously that doesn't happen because Deku is off somewhere else right now. And even though I know that, it's just still annoying still to read 3 pages of here's how important the support team is after getting a whole chapter of that. So still get it, but it's still, I don't know. I can't really complain too much because then what else would the chapter be filled with, right? So at least we got some Monoma moments to show off how important he is to this battle, because he just has an endless bag of tricks, and now he's using Eraserhead's quirk. And really appreciate that, because Eraserhead was kind of like the first hero that Shigaraki beat up, and I guess the last hero because he has no eye now. But Shigaraki obviously at the end of the chapter is unaffected because there is no final hit. There's just suppression with no actual attack there. I really think Bakugo could have just taken point there and just been like, well, I'm just gonna throw some explosions at him, but I guess not. I guess they're really playing it safe. And maybe the next time we see this encounter, I assume we're gonna move on to somewhere else right now, is going to be Bakugo kind of stepping up there with Genis as well as a support, maybe to restrain him there, stop Bakugo from getting hit. That way he can get in close with a direct attack. But yeah, the absence of Deku is definitely felt on the battlefield, and the hands of Shigaraki are definitely felt by Mirko, because I don't know if she's dead, but it seems like it. This is kind of like the same setup we got with Star and Stripe, but I don't know. I just don't think you can present the 5th hero with a new arm and then just axe her right there. So I think she's okay. And we have Edge Shot there now. I really thought it was just Bakugo and Genis here, so it's a good thing that they're not alone. And Jujutsu Kaisen 177 starts out with Ryu really feeling similar to Kaido, where he's just like, I don't have any regrets, but I just really want dessert. I really want a good fight. And he thinks that Yuta's going to be that dessert at first. And even when he's like, when he assumes Yuta's at the bottom of his, I guess the bottom of his well, he's really upset and disappointed, which at first reminded me of Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter, and just the thirst for wanting a good fight. But no, now I just see Kaido. He's just like, well, no, I'm really depressed now that I came back. I got a second life just to have a glorious death or a glorious fight. And this is falling short. And even when Udo steps in as well and kind of what he thinks is, expose Yuta's weakness, or expose the end of Yuta's, what would you call this? His stamina, I guess. He's really pissed off at her. So, he clearly wanted the 1v. Knowing that he was stepping in and interrupting a 1v1, he still wanted a 1v1 because, I guess he just saw that much potential there. But I guess, he's still going to get his wish because Yuta's done analyzing, and he's, just come to the conclusion that he's not going to be able to do this without Rika. So he's pulling Rika out in full. And, now we get to see how this works, how new Rika is. So let's see what's good. Finally, One Piece 1042. I was going to say this at first. The CP0 agent, if he's not killed by Kaido for interrupting at the end, then it's words at the beginning to Drake either tell me that he's disgusted after working with the world government for so long, or working for the world government for so long, or he's only working with them because they have something on him, like they're holding someone hostage, or just there's something with his past that they would let out. It's just his words to Drake there just make me think, oh, he doesn't like them either. That's why he's envious there, or maybe he's just like, oh, I realize I'm a slave now, and Drake is a free man, Of course, before we get into the fight, though, there has to be one obligatory page to show off the stakes in the Flower Capital. Here's what we're trying to protect. Here's the Flower Capital again, in case you have forgotten what this is all for. And then we get right into full chapter Luffy versus Kaido. No flashback at all. Just straight up brawl, which is cool. I'm not complaining at all. Kaido's still toying with Luffy though. He's like drunk and flirting with him, asking him to stop, which is really weird and funny. But Luffy finally gets him to, I guess, take it serious, because Kaido pulls out Future Sight for the first time, and I thought he might have been using that already, but it's just like so well imbued into his technique or like his fighting that he doesn't need to call it out. But no, clearly he wasn't at all. He's just that fast and that strong that he's not needed to use Future Sight at all. And then when he does, he kind of flexes on Luffy, breaks out a nice little combo of eating him, spitting him out, and then hitting him directly with a blast breath, which is awesome. I cannot wait to see that animated, because it's just it's the type of combo that you would expect from a freaking Leviathan. So good on Kaido. Luffy's impressive this chapter too. So he ended the last chapter in Snake Man Hydra, but his body in the beginning of this chapter resembles Bounce Man, but he's still using a sort of Snake Man move. So, I would assume he's just learned how to kind of blend the two together at this point. He still calls out Bounce Man later on, which kind of confuses me, but I'm assuming that he's able to mesh between the two a little bit better now, because Kaido hits him with a Thunder Bagua directly again, and Luffy almost gets knocked out, but he stops the haki from coming out of him, and that just shows growth. He's able to control himself a little bit more. Whether that means that his knockout now at the end of the chapter will bring in an awakening, or just like another advanced Conqueror's technique. The translation for Luffy's new King Kong attack is called Over Kong, and that's whack as fuck. The scan translation called it Supreme Kong, sounding like Supreme Conquerors. I'm gonna say that from now on. I don't care about Over Kong at all. That's not it for me. But yeah, unfortunately the fight ends with that CP0 agent just stepping in and interfering, which results in Kaido getting Odin flashbacks. And whether or not Luffy was gonna win, like Odin was gonna win before, questionable, but I still don't like it, because it means Luffy's now knocked out on top of the roof. If the CP0 agent is able to hold off Kaido long enough for Luffy to wake back up, then it's complete bullshit. But hey, I think Luffy's just about to awaken now. I think this is going to be, there's no way that he can just lose, right? Kaido, I think, is maybe in for a Katakuri moment where he's like, hey, this tore me up last time. Like, this is the reason I have so much regret. I'm gonna wait for you to wake up, and I'm like, I'm gonna fight you. I'm gonna give you the respectful, fair and square 1v1, or even, like I said, Katakuri might just stab himself or something like that. Like, even the playing field, like slap Luffy, wake him up, and be like, all right, dude, let's get back to it. This is some bullshit. But Luffy, I don't know if he has anything left in the tank. He said this is his final Gear 4, so whether or not he was knocked out earlier than he wanted to, I'm assuming he's wiped clean of all his haki. So he's just gonna have to fight him in like Gear 2 or something. I don't get how he would do it, but maybe all the other reviewers are right about the phrasing of Final Gear 4 here, right? Where Luffy's saying Final Gear 4 because he thinks this is his last attack, but Oda's writing Final Gear 4 because he's like, no, this is Awakening. So we'll see. Liked all 3 chapters this week. Appreciate all of them. No breaks next week at all, so we're getting another triple back-to-back banger next week. You got the reveal of Rika coming up, potentially Bakugo shining moment, or Deku just working out his thing with Toga. And man, I hope they do not cut from the rooftop next chapter in 1043. I hope that we get a continuation of what the hell is happening up here. Because if we're gonna cut to like what the hell, after getting all the quick summary in 1041 of, okay, really quick, everything else is taken care of. The only thing left to do right now is Luffy versus Kaido. If we go to Raizo's secret plan for the entirety of chapter 1043, I'm gonna be pissed. But I doubt it. I think we'll continue on here because this is crazy. You can't possibly have Luffy knocked out in front of Kaido and then just off screen what happens next, So looking forward to it. That's all me this week, though. My name is Weekly Shonen, and I will see you soon. Be safe.